There is a question many parents of children with additional needs carry quietly. Who will understand my child when I am gone? Not only who will say they love them, who will notice that silence can mean pain? Who will remember the food that feels safe, the sound that overwhelms, the routine that prevents a crisis, and the small signs that say something is wrong? Then comes another question. How can I leave money to help without accidentally making life harder? These questions are not a failure of faith. They are the work of love and stewardship. Love does not control the future, but love can prepare a wise structure for it. Most parents imagine a will as a fair division. Each child receives a share and the work is done. For a disabled child, equality on paper may not create safety in life. If an adult child receives an inheritance directly, that money normally becomes their own capital. If they receive means-tested support, the inheritance can affect it. Under current universal credit rules, capital above £6,000 can reduce an award. Capital above £16,000 will usually end entitlement while the person remains over that limit. Imagine leaving £50,000 because you want your child to have greater comfort. If it is paid directly, it may first have to cover ordinary living costs that universal credit previously met. The inheritance can shrink without providing the therapies, equipment, experiences, or security that you intended. This does not mean every disability benefit disappears. Personal independence payment and disability living allowance are not means-tested. A person can receive PIP while working or holding savings. The concern is that a direct inheritance may affect means-tested income, housing support, or care funding. Each system has its own rules. Adult social care is not simply another name for universal credit, and it requires separate advice. The answer is not to leave the disabled child out of the will. That can create hardship, conflict, and dependence on public provision alone. The better question is this: can the inheritance be held and managed in a way that supports the child without simply becoming their personal capital? A discretionary trust may provide that structure. The assets are held by trustees for a group of possible beneficiaries. The disabled person can benefit, but cannot demand the whole fund or insist on a particular payment. The trustees decide whether to pay, when to pay, how much to use, and which purpose to support within the trust deed. That distinction may help keep the trust funds separate from the beneficiary's own capital. It is not an automatic guarantee. The wording of the trust, the source of the assets, the way trustees make payments, and the benefit rules at the time all matter. Think of the trust as a protective circle, not a locked box. Its purpose is not to hide money. Its purpose is to make sure money is considered and used with wisdom. Public support often meets assessed needs. A family trust can help consider the life beyond the assessment. Depending on the deed and professional advice, trustees might pay for specialist equipment, communication technology, education, therapeutic support, advocacy, transport, furniture, a home adaptation, a supported holiday, or an activity that brings joy and belonging. Trustees should take welfare benefits advice before making substantial or regular payments. Money kept in a trust, money paid to the beneficiary, and a bill paid directly to a supplier may be treated differently. The goal is not a clever document. The goal is a better life, supported lawfully and with dignity. The trust deed is only one part of the plan. The will must direct the intended inheritance into the trust. A letter of wishes should guide the trustees about housing, care, education, relationships, faith, culture, and the quality of life the parent hopes to protect. Then comes the human document, sometimes called a letter of intent or a care and communication profile. Write down the child you know. Record how they say yes and no. Explain what pain looks like when words are unavailable. Name the people who matter. Include food, music, sleep, medication, sensory needs, fears, pleasures, and the routine that makes a day feel safe. Choose trustees with equal care. Ask who sees your child as a person, who can keep records, who will seek advice, who can resist family pressure, and who will still act wisely when you are no longer there to explain everything. A beautifully written trust can be badly lived. The people matter. Families may hear about a general discretionary trust and a trust for a vulnerable or disabled beneficiary. They are not the same thing. A wider discretionary trust can offer flexibility, but it may face higher tax rates and possible inheritance tax charges at 10-year anniversaries or when assets leave the trust. A qualifying vulnerable beneficiary trust may receive more favorable tax treatment. The legal conditions are strict, and the structure may be less flexible about anyone other than the disabled person receiving benefit. Many trusts also need to be considered under the Trust Registration Service rules, and trustees may have continuing reporting, accounting, and tax duties. This is why a generic internet template is not enough. The family needs a private client solicitor who understands trusts and tax, together with benefits and social care advice where relevant. Some families belong to more